Today, we're diving into a really fascinating idea based on the work of Yashpal Singla. It's a concept that sits right at the edge of physics and, honestly, philosophy. It asks us to consider that everything we see, everything we touch, everything we think of as solid is really just a grand cosmic dance of vibration. I know, that sounds like something straight out of a movie, right? But seriously, what if the chair you're sitting on right now, or the screen you're looking at, what if your own body isn't as solid as you think? What if it's all just a temporary trick of our perception? Let's dig into that. So, to wrap our minds around this massive idea, we don't need a particle accelerator or a supercomputer. Nope. All we need is something you've probably seen 1,000 times, a ceiling fan. This simple, everyday object, it holds the key to understanding one of the deepest truths about our universe. Okay, picture it. When the fan's off, it's pretty straightforward. You see three separate blades, right? You see the empty space between them. You could easily stick your hand right through there. But then, you flip the switch, crank up the speed. And what happens? Those blades start to blur, and suddenly they look like a single solid disc. That empty space, gone. And if you try to put your hand there now, well, you're gonna get hit. Just stop and think about that for a second. What fundamentally changed between those two states? The blades are still the same blades. They're made of the exact same material. So what was the one single thing that completely altered how we perceive that object? And here's the kicker. Nothing about the substance of the fan changed at all. The only thing that changed was how fast it was moving, its speed of vibration. See, at one frequency, you perceive separate parts, but at a higher frequency, you perceive a solid, unified whole. This simple little observation, it's our doorway into the very heart of modern physics. All right, let's take that fan analogy and scale it up, way up, to the very fabric of reality itself. Because this isn't just some neat optical illusion. It's a perfect parallel to one of the biggest, most ambitious ideas in all of science, string theory. So what is string theory, really? Well, at its core, it suggests that the tiniest building blocks of our universe, electrons, protons, quarks, the whole gang, they aren't little specks or tiny balls. Instead, they're these unimaginably small, one-dimensional strings of pure energy. And each one is vibrating, kind of like a cosmic guitar string. And this quote just nails the beauty of the whole idea. It points to this incredible, profound unity. It means there isn't one stuff that makes an electron and another stuff that makes a proton. No, there's just one fundamental ingredient, this one universal thread. And all the amazing diversity we see in the cosmos, it's just that one thread vibrating in different ways. It's just like a violin string, right? You pluck it one way, you get one note. You press your finger down and pluck it another way, you get a totally different note. It's the same string, just a different vibration. Well, particles are the same. An electron is just one note. A proton is another. The difference isn't the string itself, it's the unique dance of its frequency, its amplitude, its oscillation. They're all just different songs played on the same instrument. Okay, but wait a minute. If it's all just the same string, then what gives a particle its identity? What holds that specific vibrational pattern together and makes an electron always act like an electron? Well, the theory proposes that there's a kind of energy boundary. You can think of it like a capsule that contains and shapes the string's vibration. This boundary forces the string into a specific repeating pattern. And it's that pattern that we perceive and measure as a particle, like an electron. If you could change that boundary, you'd actually change the particle itself. And this leads us to a truly mind-bending conclusion. Particles, they aren't really things at all, are they? They're more like processes. An electron isn't an object, it's a stable state of vibration. A proton isn't a thing, it's another state of vibration. The solidity that we feel and experience every day, it's an illusion, created by energy moving in a persistent pattern, just like that solid-looking disk of the fast-moving fan. Now, if everything is just vibration, well, the implications are absolutely staggering. This is where we step into territory that sounds like something out of an ancient myth, but it's grounded in modern physics. Welcome to the idea of modern alchemy. Think about the old alchemists who dreamed of turning lead into gold. From this new perspective, they weren't totally crazy. They just had the science wrong. It's not about changing a substance. It's about changing a structure. Lead is just one arrangement of particles vibrating in a specific geometry. And gold? It's just another arrangement. The underlying strings are exactly the same. It really all boils down to this one powerful principle. If you can change the vibrational mode, the pattern, the frequency, you can literally change the matter itself. This almost makes the impossible sound like a technical manual, doesn't it? In theory, if you could somehow access that fundamental vibration, then modulate its frequency and shift its pattern of oscillation, you could literally tune one form of matter into another. It's like changing the station on a radio. But hang on, because this idea doesn't stop with rocks and metals. Oh no. If this one primitive thread is the basis of all matter, then it also has to be the basis of life, of consciousness, of our entire experience of being alive. So we start with that foundation. The physical world, everything that seems so solid and real. It's all a symphony of vibrating strings. And what about our thoughts, our consciousness, the electric signals firing in our brains? Well, those are also just patterns of energy. Incredibly complex vibrations happening inside the system that is our body. And even our deepest feelings, love, fear, joy, these are expressions of our own internal state, which, at its very root, is just another complex layer of vibration. You see, everything is connected through this fundamental dance of energy. So what does this all mean for us? What's the big takeaway? It means the world isn't as fixed as it appears. Form is temporary. Everything is constantly changing, constantly in flux, and ultimately everything is transformable. And maybe, just maybe, the most important part is this. If we are all woven from the very same universal thread, then that feeling of being separate from the universe, that might just be the greatest illusion of all. And that leaves us with one last incredible thought. If reality is a symphony, then maybe we aren't just sitting in the audience listening. Maybe we are the musicians. Maybe we have the potential to learn how to play our own instrument and, through resonance, to consciously take part in creating reality itself. So, what tune would you choose to play?